So the next exercise is going to be making an isArrayLike. And this is an internal method that jQuery uses. It doesn't really expose, which is unfortunate because it would be handy. But it's needed. We'll need it for like $each, which we'll do right after this. isArrayLike just lets you know if something is like an array. It's something that you could enumerate through. It's got numbered properties, and it's got a length property. So things that are array-like is obviously an array is array-like, but also there's an arguments object that you can access a function's arguments it was called with. That's not a true array, but we want that to be array-like. It does have, a length property, and it has numbered properties. Things like these node lists that a document get elements by tag name would return. This is not a true array, but we want it to be array-like. Yeah, so things like this. So there's this concept called duck typing, which is that a lot of dynamic languages use, where you kind of check the shape of an object, and you see, hey, does the shape of this object, does it look like what we want? And if it does, we'll do something with it. We'll learn about jQuery's each, which just iterates through a bunch of items. If I pass jQuery each arguments, I'd like it to loop through arguments. If I pass it a node list, I'd like it to loop through a node list. I don't want to have to always convert everything to an array for jQuery each to work. That's why there's this isArrayLike. So we use duck typing to see which way we're going to loop through things in each. So the next exercise, again, real quick exercise, is you're going to implement an isArrayLike. The way to tell if something is array-like that works well is you're going to check that it has a length property that is a number, and you're going to see you're going to use the in operator to see if once you know there's a length, if there's a property that's at length -1. And there's a special in operator that JavaScript has that tells you if something is in something. It's like saying, does this have a property there? That's all it does. And I'll write out what the in operator looks like because we kind of haven't introduced it yet. So if I have an object that looks like this, where I've given it an 8 property, and I'm going to give it, I'm going to make it a string. I can see if 8, I'll make another variable, has 8, and I can do, has 8 will be true because I'll do 8 in object, right? So this statement here will return true if this property is in object. To make a little more sense, I can do foo. As foo, is there a foo property in object? Now I can also do a variable name. And I could write prop. So this statement will return true if the string value of prop, which is foo, is in object. So all you want to do is check to see that this object has a length property that is a number, and length -1 is in this object. So this is the next exercise. I will put up I'll make sure that this stays up. And are there any other questions before we start?
There's a question kind of back on what is the difference between our isArray and array.isArray?
Array. Probably nothing. Array.isArray is provided by like most modern browsers now, and that's great to use. Just jQuery's isArray is going to be useful everywhere. Like in IE8, you can use it. But they both do the same thing. Although I don't know if they work the same way. There might be I don't know how array isArray works, if it's different, uses a different technique than this does.
There's a question in chat, maybe you could just read it. Is in faster than not?
That's a great question, Stephen. In is going to be faster, but also it's going to work better. Because what if I had an array or an array-like thing that had a falsy value in it? So if I had my object that looked like foo and it had a null, object foo here, that would return false because it would not the null once, make it true.
Do you want to explain what's going on there?
The code here? Okay.
I'm just saying for the audience.
Yeah, so here I've got an object with a foo property of null, and I'm reading the property, so this is going to be the prop value, which is just going to be null. So prop value is just going to be null at this point. And then if I'm nodding it once, this is going to be, the value of not is going to be true. And then if I'm nodding it again, sorry, this is confusing, but I'm not sure how to explain it a little bit better. If I'm nodding this again, well, now it's going to be false. So what Stephen asked is, instead of doing this in operator, why can't I just tell if object has the foo property by doing something like has foo equals not object foo. You can't do that because if this value is falsy, well, it still has a foo property. It just is falsy, so this would return false. It would normally work if it was anything truthy. Now this would be returning true because this would be returning false. But it's not a good method. So instead we use foo in obj. So let me put back up the thing and with the hint. And let's do another 10-minute exercise.